What's going down, everybody? It's the Black Militia Man. I am the Emperor to be feared and loved. I've been doing a little correspondence with the brother from Recognized Game, and I feel like his critical analyzation of the ADOS hashtag leadership or whatever is productive in a way, but I just feel like I could tell that those type of people don't have creative or innovative ideas to really be productive, because that's what I do. That's why I'm an expert at having ideas and listening to other people's ideas. One of my favorite things to do is resource management. But I don't even know where to start. But I want to begin by starting the Black Correspondence Committee and heading the Black Correspondence Committee and talking with other blacks, finding out what things we agree on, what things we have in common. Just talking, figuring out what we agree on, what we have in common, and what goals do we want to achieve together as the Black Correspondence Committee. So here we go. So we will have to see about all the people that's interested or want to take part in the Black Correspondence Committee, making any donation, cash, pooling cash. Okay, but I want to start. Okay, the Black Correspondence Committee, our mission is to communicate with Black people and identify what Blacks agree on. That's our mission at the beginning of the Black Correspondence Committee. Okay, some of the things that the Black Correspondence Committee we want to address. Overall, we're addressing the invasion of an armed white minority who has subjugated the original population. Okay, what are our options after that has happened? We must first declare that we have been attacked in a legal document. Then we should ask other nations for correspondence and ask for support and assistance in resisting subjugation of an armed white minority. Meaning if they want to gift us any assets or any type of resources they want to assist us with to basically resist subjugation. Basically, we need a document basically of things documenting our damages, documenting our attacks, documenting our abuse in this country, and basically going around the world and asking how do these other nations, how do they feel about this? Like, do they agree with the United States? Is there the United States attack on Black people? Is that okay? Do they agree with it, or do they detest it. However they feel, we would like to document, how others feel about our subjection in this country. So, okay, so those are some of the things that a Black Correspondence Committee wants to get involved in. Also, pooling cash, separating from other communities, acquiring land, developing it, protecting it, fellowship with other blacks, live life. The United States of America have a monopoly to initiate force, and we don't have anything to counter such force. So, you know, if you look at the history of the United States, how they've gone around the world and attacked and abused people, they really don't have a lot of respect for people who can't counter their force. So I feel like it's really immature and very idiotic to think that you're going to get something from people when you don't have a force to counter them. It's like in the streets, like somebody takes something from you, you don't call the police. You deal with it on, you know what I'm saying? You counter it on your own. Like, I mean, that's just street philosophy, but I feel like if you look at all the instances in history, they only really recognize people who can counter their force. It's like, if I got a gun and you got a gun, we gonna have more respect for each other. If we don't both want to die, we could both shoot at each other and both kill each other. So I think, I think good people need guns. I think there's a lack of good black people with guns, first of all. But yeah, it's a list of things that the Black Correspondence Committee will be tackling. I might be rambling. I don't have an outline. I have a few notes, but I just felt like it was time for me to come out and speak out. But yeah, I have a few notes. So, okay, the vision. So we talked about the mission of the Black Correspondence Committee. Now I want to talk about the vision. And the vision of the Black Correspondence Committee is to develop assets for Black people in America. Period. Keep it short and sweet, and we could go back and elaborate and expand on those statements. The vision that I have, I feel like I agree with a lot of what Dr. Dr. Anderson talk about starting a city, starting a black city, blues town, jazz town, hip hop town. I like those ideas, and first I come from an agricultural background, agricultural family. So I value land and the sun and photosynthesis. I put that at the top of my list. So first once we would acquire this land, plant food on it, plant vegetables, fruits, botanicals, herbs, specifically for blacks. Any surplus could be sold for budget or for profit, but initially I would to have this land acquired to be able to feed black people healthy foods, providing water. So off top of land, food, and water, I feel like those are some things, some goals for the Black Correspondence Committee to work towards. I'm in California, so any efforts that that are initiated, the base will start in California, and then we could branch off. Strategically, I feel like California, it has a lot of pluses. Year-round growing season, close to the ocean, progressive laws, cannabis, hemp. Um, I believe California has a lot of good attributes that we should take advantage of in the initial stages of the Black Correspondence Committee. But yeah, so it's time to really get busy and start doing some productive things on behalf of blacks. Also, if you want to talk about uh, more goals for the Black Correspondence Committee, we uh, can start a flag. If anybody's familiar with flag law, if you're not familiar with flag law, you probably want to do a little research about flag law, because we're basically consenting to the current flag that we're under, even though people may not agree with a lot of United States of America's policies or whatever. We haven't declared otherwise. So basically, we're under the American flag. We agree and we consent with any and everything that America can invent or conspire or whatever they throw at us. You got to take it. So I feel like it's important that we start our own flag, create our own flag, and identify with the different visions or goals and commitment from that flag. But yeah, we're gonna be having more conversations on here. Getting a brother from Recognized Game. I feel like a lot of his ideas are critical. He seems, I never met the brother, but he seems professional. His ideas are creative. And I feel like we need to, the guys that are more hands-on, we need to get busy. I know it's a lot of us out there, but it might be few and far between, scattered out loud. But yeah, I agree a lot with the brother from Recognized Game channel. I gravitate to critical thinking individuals who are about, getting active and doing activities and getting on the front line and getting busy, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna be checking back in with y'all more periodically, but I just want to do like a 30-minute video or so, about 15 minutes in right now. But yeah, I love the whole idea of the ADOS situation or whatever, and yeah, I think it speaks specifically to, more specifically than we have been speaking, and I feel like reparations is a court case. I feel like it's black people versus the United States of America, and we have to. The burden is on us to present the evidence of these attacks and these abuses and these damages, because black people have been damaged in this country. And I hear the brother from Recognized Game, you know, I hate to call out names and this and that, but you know, we having a conversation, so you know. But I hear him talk a lot about Tone Talks, attorney Antonio Moore, and yeah. But you know what I noticed though, the pattern is very simple because there's been a lot of black attorneys in this country. There's been a lot of black legal experts or whatever, but you know, I don't look to myself as the prophetic black leader or nothing like that. Maybe I should, but I really don't. But in my mind, I have these ideas, and it just seems so unorthodox from the rest of guys or black men that I thought would be way more smarter than me, geniuses. You know, look up to these guys, mental with you know. But it's like I'm thinking of things that I don't think I ever heard of, or I'm just like, why aren't we trying these things? But I just feel like we need to make a case, a criminal and a civil case against the United States of America, and like a notarized legal document, and you know, start sending them out to every county courthouse in the United States of America, making a case about the attacks and the damages that have been done against blacks from A to Z. Like I've, you know, been indicted by the federal government before. I fought them. My case was dismissed, so I know what habeas corpus look like and motions and all of these things, and it's basically a document outline from A to Z, listing specifics, basically. And I'm 34 years old. It was 2019, but I don't think, you know, I hear people talk and debate and talk and scream and talk about the damages, the attacks, the abuses, but I've never seen them documented into a legal document and presented into a court or presented to a magistrate. I never seen that. I think it's necessary, but of course, it's like, why would we even do that when we know the uh, the the monopoly to initiate force that they have will never arrest their fellow government employees. So that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. But I think it's somewhere to start, and then we can go with the necessary things that we need to do from there. But yeah, like I said, I'm kind of scatterbrained. I only made a few notes, but yeah, I'm just throwing some ideas out there. But this is the first um, PSA from the Black Correspondence Committee. I'm the Emperor to be feared, the Black Militiaman. I, a lot of people don't know, but I was the only black man that showed up in the Oregon standoff with other white militia groups or um, in 2016, and I learned a lot from that experience. I feel like it was probably one of the most craziest things that I've done, and one of the most eye-opening experiences that I ever had when it comes to dealing with the federal government. I am the Black Militia Man. You could type my name into Google, Brandon Dowd, type of Guardian, read the article, check it out. It's I was misquoted a couple of times, but I don't feel like whites have the same argument as blacks, but there are whites that have been attacked, have been damaged, have been abused to the federal government, and in the case of the Oregon standoff situation, they declared that they were being attacked, and they asked the government for a redress of grievances, and they had a petition. And I feel like those are positive things, nonviolent things that, I think black people, we have to begin a paper trail before, things could get out of hand or leading into any catastrophic event. The diplomacy needs to be documented more with black people in the United States of America. But the Oregon standoff, it was an armed, peaceful protest. It was an armed, peaceful protest. Okay? I'm going to speak a little diplomatic today about that process and what it means. But in the Constitution, it says that you basically have a right to peaceably assemble. And it talks about having a right to bear arms. But give you a little briefing on the Oregon standoff. It was basically the Center for Self-Governing Foundation and other people who share their affinity about the government, the federal government owning 70, 80, 90% of entire states and accessing all the precious minerals and assets and selling them off to foreign interests. Different landholders and landowners were being intimidated by the federal government to leave their land. Kind of sounds like a little bit of what my Cherokee ancestors have gone through, and also blacks who were free or free blacks who had to risk subjugation while conducting their business. But yeah, it's like a similar situation. But yeah, I stood with LaVoy Finicum. I got to get close to him and speak with him on a regular basis. But LaVoy Finicum was one of the white ranchers who was eventually killed by the federal government in Oregon. State troopers. He basically looked at the federal government as criminals and doing damage to people, attacking people, and he was calling for everybody to come together and stand up and do something about it. And he was murdered January 26, 2016. But I just feel like he was with the shits. They had the choppers, they had the ammo, and they was ready to ride. So I showed up. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about, activity. You know, I I don't want to speak about too much about my roles um, in supporting the militia in that effort, but this shit is really, really serious. It's really, really intense. Really heavy stuff. And I heard one of the brothers speaking to about we know black people scared. We know y'all in fear. Yeah, man, I get it. I live with the same fear. I've endured the same fear, but I will never allow it to stop me from facing my oppressor or facing or resisting subjugation. It'll never stop me. But yeah, the fear is real. It's real. Um, but I just feel like y'all gotta overcome it and have love in your heart. Um, do make a change for love. Challenge your oppressors in the name of love for your ancestors and for your fellow black people. Love is a superpower. But yeah, that's where I get the Black Militia Man name from. The journalists from The Guardian, editors from The Guardian um, coined that name. So I kind of ran with it. I like it a little bit. The Black Militia Man. But yeah, as far as black people, ADOS is concerned, I think we could be way more productive. We can have a little piece of land, 10-acre land, call it hip hop town, hip hop city, hold events. People could come here and to Cali, experience the cannabis, the extracts, the fresh festivals, music, soul cleansing, with the music, being outdoors. Also, I love taekwondo. I've been doing taekwondo since I was a child. I feel like more blacks need to get involved with martial arts and combative exercises and start holding taekwondo exercises every day on the land, 4 hours a day on the land. Just some ideas, man. I'm always the type. I'm gonna throw some ideas out there. I'm not gonna hoard them. And they not making no money in my head. So just ideas. I never had a problem with coming up with ideas. Never had a lack of ideas. So a lot of times I give a lot of ideas out. I give a lot of ideas away, and people run with the ideas. They may not ever give me credit for it, and but I don't care about the credit. Sometimes you might want to hear a little appreciation, but at the end of the day, it don't matter. It was the idea you came with the idea, and somebody they took it and ran with it and made it productive, and it changed their life, and they could use. That's cool. You know, but yeah, I just wanted to do 30 minutes. We getting ready to run up on the close, but be hearing back more from me soon. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and it's the motherfucking emperor, bitch.